Hi all, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're gonna start by making episode 2 of the Necromunda project, walls and columns. Now this was a fun project to make, I really enjoyed it. And as always I would suggest make a bunch of them, because you're gonna need plenty of walls in the underhive. It's very easy to do. If I can do it, you definitely can. And yeah, you don't need any expensive tools or fancy equipment. It's very easy to do. It is a little time consuming, but all crafts really are, and they match very well with the tiles that we made in the previous episode. So if you haven't watched that one, pause this video, watch the tiles, and come back to this one. Alright guys, but without further ado, follow me to the crafting table and let's crack out some walls for the underhive. Alright, let's do this.
So we're gonna begin with some pink isolation foam and we're gonna cut it to 10 centimeters in height. Make a long strip. Now we're gonna texture it with a tinfoil ball, as you can see me do here. Also do the top of the foam. Now we're gonna mark out 10 centimeter lines, so we can get 10 centimeter by 10 centimeter squares when we cut them out. Draw the lines so you can cut them. We're gonna cut the squares. And we're gonna be using a sharper blade because this one is as dull as can be. This is gonna be much better, and be careful not to cut yourself, okay? Now we're gonna cut out all the squares. I made many. Now we're gonna take some cardstock and also cut out 10 centimeter by 10 centimeter square because you're gonna need 2 per wall. Now we're gonna connect the corners. So it looks like this. And on each side of the line that you drew, we're gonna mark out 1/2 centimeter, as you can see me do here. Now then simply connect the dots or the lines. And it will look like this. Now we're gonna mark out 1/2 centimeter on each side of the square and draw a line as well. Just make a, yeah, like we did with the tiles basically, which you can find in my playlist as well. Now we're gonna cut the inner triangles. I'm gonna cut them out. Be careful not to cut too far, and then we're gonna remove them. Now I'm gonna take my riveting tool. It's just a hole puncher. I marked out where the top was because I had a little accident and it looked totally wrong. Now you can use rhinestones or whatever you want to create rivets. I just like this as a quick and easy way to create them. I've seen a lot of good crafters use this technique and it really works wonders. Now as you can see, it fits here on the wall. Now the next step is totally optional because I also made another pattern for the other side of the wall. But you don't need to do that. If you want the 2 parts of the wall to look the same, by all means. So here we're gonna measure 2 centimeters up, and then we're gonna mark out where the half point is, 5 centimeters in the center. Mark that out and draw a line. Now from the top to we're gonna measure 2 centimeters down, and we're gonna do the same from the middle line to the left and to the right, as you see here. Now I'm gonna simply freehand an arch. Doesn't have to be perfect, it is the underhive, so nothing is really perfect there. Well, just, you can, yeah, basically you can choose the shape that you want. As you can see, I'm creating this. Now cut out the shapes. Be careful, don't cut yourself. Also put rivets on this thing And now we're gonna use some white glue and we're gonna be gluing this to the wall. The foam wall, that is. We're gonna do that for the other pieces as well. The many pieces you created as well. Or am I the only lunatic who creates this many wall pieces? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Now let's build the columns. We're gonna cut out some foam board rectangles that are 6.5 centimeters by 10 centimeters. And I used, for the wall sections of this, I used 3mm thick foam board. We're gonna need 4 per column, 3mm thick. Also, we're gonna cut out a square piece of foam board that is 8 by 8 centimeters, and this is thicker than the other. This is 5mm thick foam board. But listen, I'm using foam board, but you can either use cardboard for this entire project as well. I'm just using foam board because I have it. Now here, connect the corners as you see here. Just 1 centimeter from each side, and we're gonna cut it off to get an octagon, or I don't know what to say, call it in English, but as you can see here, this thing. Mark out 0.5 centimeter on each side, draw a line, and then we're gonna also score this line. Score the line, not cut it, because I once went a little too deep with my knife and I cut straight through it. So just, yeah, be careful. Score it very gently. And then draw it in with the ballpoint pen. Also, we're gonna also make, to find the centerpiece, we're gonna draw the cross again. Or you can free aim it. Now here I am again with one of my favorite crafting tools, that is of my coffee cup, of my Dolce Gusti coffee cup. I'm gonna cut out where I marked it, the halfway. Cut the circle out. And I'm gonna put it in. It fits nicely and snug, but I'm gonna hot glue it in later. Now I'm also gonna freehand some extra details. It's just some eye candy for on the table, because you are looking at the top of the column, so the more detail you got on there, the better, I guess. No, it really looks nice when it's finished. You'll see in the end. And this is a poking tool I'm using to add some rivets in and some more details. Again, details make the crafting, in my opinion. Now we're gonna glue the column walls. This is an excellent thing. It's a silicone baking mat, and it works better than parchment paper in my opinion. I love it. The hot glue doesn't stick to it at all. Now here I'm gluing on with the hot glue the first wall. Follow the steps as I do here to get a perfect square. Just watch me do it. Now flip this over, and I'm gonna hot glue this on this side. Just watch carefully and then you'll get the gist of it. Flip it over again. Here you can see. So this corner is attached to that side, but as you can see, yeah, just look at the corners. That's how I did it. And this way you get a nice perfect square. Now some hot glue on the top, for we're gonna hot glue the roof on top of it. And do this for all the columns that you've made. Again, I made many. Excuse me. Now we can start to choose how we're gonna build this wall. So we can do it this way. We can make corner pieces, single pieces. But first we're gonna add some more details to this column. Just take a cardstock strip, add some rivets to it, and we're gonna hot glue this at the bottom of the column. Now we're gonna hot glue the wall section. And you can perfectly leave it like this to have a single piece, or as I do, make a double piece, or corner pieces, or single, or whatever you want. Here I have some knitting mesh, I believe it is called, I don't know. I hot glue it to the top, and I'm gonna cut it to fit with a scissor. Just again, not necessary, just some extra detail. Here I'm also marking out a thin strip of masking tape to add some cladding to the sides. I'm hot gluing it so it will, white gluing it so it will stick. Now we're gonna cut out some barbecue sticks to simulate lights hanging from the walls. Here I'm using some paper drinking straws as some more details, pipings. Glue them on. Just be as, well, just go nuts with detailing the thing the way you want. Have fun with it. It's your project. These are all the pieces that I've made so far. Some wires that I'm gonna attach somewhere, I think. Now, if you're gonna use spray, use a foam safe spray, or it will melt. And spray it outside or in a ventilated area, and if you can, just wear a mask when you spray this. Okay, time for painting. Now I'm gonna overbrush everything with some brown paint. Everything, everywhere. I'm using a makeup brush for this. Go nuts. Then I'm gonna stipple everything with some silver, so it looks scratched and banged up and patchy. Don't worry, that's what I want. Now I'm choosing this blue, but you can choose whatever color you want. I'm using this one because I like the color of it. Stipple that on in random places, wherever you want. I'm only coloring the columns, leaving the other metal parts just bare metal. Could be that you can give it a second coat later on, as I do. Now let's paint the concrete with some dark gray to begin. Don't forget to do the sides. And I'm painting the pipes black. Later on I'm coloring a few, but first I'm going to paint them all black, and also the lights that are hanging from the side of the wall, they also get a black color. And this second color for the concrete is a grayish brown, but I find it has a pinkish hue to it as well. But yeah, just if you don't have it, just use a lighter gray. It works perfectly well. Stipple that on. Now I'm gonna add some more blue in random places. Second coat. I want it to pop a little bit more. or I'm using blue. If you're using red, just use red. If you're using yellow or green or whatever color you want, guys. Have fun, it's your project, go nuts with it. There is no right or wrong way to do this, the only right way is to have fun. Now I'm using some corn red to pick out some of the pipings. Again, some more color variation. Now I'm tinning some brown paint with water to create some streaking on the concrete. You don't have to do it, but I like the grimy look of it. Again, it is the underhive. Nice and dirty. Now I'm patching on some brown paints everywhere. This is the beginning of my rust effect. And here I'm using some Troll Slayer orange that I'm just stippling on the brown. While it's still wet, it doesn't matter. It dries together, so it dries nicely. Just, yeah, wherever you want the rust to be. Here I'm gluing in some paper hazard stripes that I simply printed. I'm doing the same with some posters. Place them wherever you want. Now it's time for some weather effects. I'm using some brown pastels. First I sprayed everything with water, and then I'm using some brown pastels, covering it up with some orange pastel, the same way that I did on the tiles. So it looks nice and yucky, as you can see. Now let's paint in the lights. I'm using some Averland Sunset to create the first line. It has a nice coverage to it. I like the Averland Sunset. Now let's highlight it with some white. It finishes off the light effect. And here you can see it's all starting to come together. Now I'm also, this is optional, I'm using some floral wire to simulate hanging cables or cables that run on top. Yeah, let's have a look at everything in play. Here you can see the walls, how they match with the tiles, some miniatures on it. So I think that's why I like the blue, it matches well. Nice and dirty and grimy. Some miniatures on the table. Battling it out in the underhive. So thank you all very much for watching, guys, and here are some more pictures of the final product. Don't forget to leave a like and please consider subscribing, it would help out this channel a lot.